Tiffany Henyard, the mayor of Dalton, Illinois, is facing intense backlash after a controversial decision to hire LVL Redmond as a code enforcer for the village. Redmond, a registered sex offender with a violent criminal history, previously served 24 years of a 50-year sentence for his involvement in a brutal gang attack on two young girls in 1991. His appointment to a position of authority has sparked outrage, especially after a Fox 32 investigation revealed his criminal background, something Henyard initially claimed she was unaware of. However, she later changed her statement, asserting that Dalton supports giving individuals with past mistakes a second chance. This stance has raised serious concerns about her judgment, particularly given Redmond's role, which involves entering residents' homes and businesses. Public reaction has been overwhelmingly negative, prompting Village Trustees to take steps to limit Henyard's hiring authority in response to the growing controversy. Critics are questioning Henyard's leadership and the Township's hiring process, as her failure to properly vet candidates is now under scrutiny. Some speculate that her decision was politically motivated, suggesting that Redmond, who is reportedly connected to her, was hired to serve her personal and political interests. Public outrage escalated further when Henyard's boyfriend, Joshua Brown, became involved in a separate incident. Brown was reportedly in a physical altercation with Redmond and another individual. Initially, Henyard's lawyer claimed that Brown had a knife during the fight, but video footage later debunked this, showing that he was holding a microphone, not a weapon. Despite clear evidence, Henyard continued to push the false narrative that Brown had been armed, further eroding public trust. As she campaigns for re-election, Henyard is attempting to reshape public perception by portraying herself as the victim of a coordinated attack. However, her efforts to deflect blame have largely been unsuccessful, as skepticism about her leadership continues to grow. Tiffany Henyard's actions as mayor of Dalton, Illinois, are increasingly being seen as dishonest and self-serving. She has even gone so far as to accuse the village trustees of conspiring against her, suggesting they orchestrated an attack on her boyfriend. Henyard's narrative of widespread hatred and a personal vendetta against her has only further damaged her credibility and reputation. Meanwhile, Jason House, a senior trustee and mayoral candidate, is positioning himself as the only viable alternative to Henyard's divisive leadership. House offers a vision of meaningful change, promising a break from the corruption and mismanagement that have plagued Dalton for years. In contrast to Henyard's controversial tenure, House presents a fresh approach focused on economic growth, transparency, and community rebuilding. Henyard's leadership has been marked by reckless spending and a failure to address Dalton's core problems. One of the most glaring examples of her mismanagement is the town's continued financial decline, which many attribute to her inability to make sound financial decisions. While Henyard frequently touts the opening of new businesses as a success, the reality is that her leadership has failed to foster sustainable growth. Dalton's financial situation has worsened under her administration, leaving many residents questioning the viability of certain projects. For instance, the town's ice skating rink, which cost over $1 million to build, was intended to generate revenue but has instead become a financial burden. It only opens for special events and fails to bring in enough income to sustain itself. Similarly, while the renovation of local basketball courts was initially seen as a positive step, the project has failed to generate significant revenue, and the ongoing maintenance costs have further drained the village's finances. Henyard's inability to balance the community's needs with fiscal responsibility has led to mounting frustration among residents. Many feel she has ignored the town's most pressing issues, and her refusal to acknowledge her mistakes has only deepened public mistrust. As her re-election campaign gains momentum, Henyard's attempts to manipulate public perception through false narratives and baseless claims are falling flat. Many residents see through her tactics. Dalton is at a crossroads, and it is becoming clear that Henyard's leadership is no longer viewed as a solution to the town's problems. Beyond her financial mismanagement, Henyard has made it increasingly difficult for new businesses to thrive. In Dalton, particularly through her interference in the liquor licensing process, a prime example is her ongoing legal dispute with the owners of St. Patrick's, a restaurant and banquet hall. Despite initially supporting the business, she later obstructed its operations by refusing to sign the necessary liquor licenses, even after the owners followed